Yes, anything else that anyone would like to ask? Or would you like to share with us anything that,
Why
yes,
is
please?
Telugu added in the form?
Yes. So a lot of our executives, at least two out of the four are Telugu speakers. So we'll also add other languages with time as we get acquainted with you all.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So there is a question in the chat box. It is whether Mama Namaha Sandeep Asti correct? Whether it is correct? So the, even though this session is not for formal learning of Sanskrit, this is just for an overview. I'll tell that Mama means my. Namaha would not fit in this context. It should be Nama, like the normal Nome Akar Ma you write. Sandeepaha Asti. Okay. Okay. Anyone would like to say what you
Um,
expect from the society? Yes.
I want to know what is the Devanagari. Devanagari, I know Hindi script. IAST was this Grantham, I don't know.
Yes. So we'll, even though we'll elaborate upon it in our meeting, I'll tell you. IAST stands for International Alphabet of Sanskrit Transliteration. Okay. It is, you might have seen, there is A, B, C written in English, and there's a bar over it, like A and a bar over it, like a dash. So it is written just to fit the languages of um, you can say Indian language sounds into the Roman script. Okay, we'll elaborate upon it. Even if you did not understand this, it is okay. Grantham is a Dravidian lipi, okay, a Dravidian script, which is like which was prevalent during the days of yore. Yes, Grantham is a Malayalam script. Yes, it is very closely related to Malayalam. It is also said that the modern day Malayalam script is a descendant of Grantham, but it is also related with other Dravidian languages, including but not limited to Tamil. So we'll be focusing on different types of Grantham. One is the most famous one is the Pallava Grantham. It is used mostly for writing Sanskrit. Many original Sanskrit scripts are in Grantham. Yes.
What is the original script used in the time of Sanskrit speaking time? I mean, original script for
Yes,
Sanskrit.
yes, yes. Krishnan, you are saying something. I'll come to Nandan's question after that. Keshava Krishnan. Acha, okay. So Uh, answering your question, what is the original script? There are several schools of thought which believe a different thing. The common perception is that just like Sanskrit is the God-given language, Deva-Bhasha. Similarly, Devanagari is also the God-given script. But it uh, the research tells otherwise. Okay, the original script, in the sense the oldest deciphered script, is the Brahmi script. Okay, initially Sanskrit was not a written language; it was orally transmitted. So you can say it was not so that. there is some kind of original script for it. It can be written in any script, okay, which has the sounds for it. Any other question or any other suggestion or anything else that you want to share with us? What you expect from the club? What you expect from us?
In the lessons, please use the Hindi script, Devanagari.
In the lessons, we'll teach you all these scripts. Okay, don't worry about that. Even though the majority of people will show you the statistics, because our course is related to data science, so we have some data for you. um, Most of the people have shown a preference for Devanagari, but we'll promote all the three. By the end of a year, you'll all be excellent in writing in all the scripts. At least in reading, all of you will be proficient. Anything else? I think we'll begin. Is Santosh here in the meeting?
Yeah, Vignesh.
Yes, Santosh. We'll begin by 6:15. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Till then, I'll be taking
What
some
about the
questions.
rest? Yeah, sure.
Any other questions? Any other suggestions? Any other thing to share?
Yeah, what's the agenda for today's meeting?
Today's meeting is just for the launch and the orientation. By launch and orientation, it means that we'll be introducing you to the club, to the executive members, and we'll tell you what we'll cover uh, in the due course of time, in the upcoming time. Yes, you got your doubt cleared,
Yeah,
Brajkishore?
yeah.
Yes. Anyone else? Anyone in the meet who has not filled the membership form?
It's in the chat box for the new people who join, like in the last 5 minutes. I'll paste you.
Yes, please do so. If there's anyone, please fill in the membership form if you
Yeah, Gurubai.
have not done so.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Just paste the membership. Yeah, not able to access it right now.
Meanwhile, we are also on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow us. It is given in the Linktree link. We are planning to come on LinkedIn and YouTube as well. Okay, guys. We'll be.
Hello,
Yes.
Vignesh. Hi, namaste. I just had one question. When we talk about the beginner or the advanced level, what sort of qualifications or specifications are we looking for here? Because I have studied Sanskrit for quite some time now. So,
Yes. 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 Are you the one who is like who had written that second year Sanskrit student?
right, yes, yes, I am.
Yes, yes, yes. So you are actually an advanced learner in comparison to others. It is a relative term.
I get it. I
Okay.
get it. I mean, that is what I was looking for. So, I mean, are we just looking for reading and writing Sanskrit, or is it also going to be the spoken form? Because I think that's equally important.
Yes, that is very important. Actually, originally we wanted to define these terms, but we
Right.
decided against it. Uh, the relative level is for now, it will change with due course of time, is that if you know nothing, not even a single word in Sanskrit, you have no knowledge in Sanskrit. Okay. If you know a bit of Sanskrit, you can like identify words from Sanskrit, even though the words may be used in your language. It may be Hindi, it may be Tamil, it may be Kannada. It can be
Given our
different language.
background, I think everyone is exposed to Sanskrit in some way.
Yes, yes, yes. Some people are from not from our country who are in this course, so they may
I get
not
it.
be.
Most of the people I stand corrected.
Most people would get it. But if you have no exposure, then you should have selected the none.
No, I mean
Otherwise,
when we start
yes,
talking about, I'm sorry, go on.
yes, yes, yes. Ah, and the intermediate level learners are those who can at least read a few simple sentences in Sanskrit. Those who are Sanskrit literate. Advanced level learners are who are conversant in Sanskrit, who can read the texts and they do not need to like go through it twice or thrice. Yes, Neil. What is your name? Uh,
It's Nilotpala.
Nilotpala. Okay.
Yes. I mean,
Yes,
if
you.
you could just, have a little bit of spoken Sanskrit alongside in the maybe intermediate level, that is going to go a long ways, what my perception is.
Yes. 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 We have incorporated this the intermediate level. Actually, spoken Sanskrit will be one of our main thrusts because you might some of you might know there's a course in NPTL known as
NPTL.
yes, known as the uh, Introduction to Basic Spoken Sanskrit. Then there is an intermediate and advanced level for that too. But it is by Professor Anuradha Chaudhary of IIT. If I'm not wrong, it is Kanpur,
Kharagpur.
Kharagpur. Yes, IIT Kharagpur. Okay, thank you for correcting me. Yes, we'll be sticking to that curriculum. Okay, in the initial few days.
I mean, wonderful if you already have that plan because listening to sounds would make it easier to understand.
Yes,
I think that was
we acquire languages by listening to it, by speaking it,
right.
by
Right.
living it.
That's true.
Yes.
Yes. That's true. Thanks.
So I think Santosh can begin. Santosh, you are
Yeah,
here?
yeah, Vignesh, I'm here.
Yes.
So, Namo Namah Sarvebhya. Good evening, guys. Uh, so, I think we're good to go, Vignesh.
Yes, yes,
Am I
yes.
audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Students like and working professionals who are pursuing this course with great and joy and immense exultation.
Yes, Santosh, I think we lost you. You're not audible anymore. Okay, Santosh will be joining. Till then, I'll continue. So, um, I am Vignesh Mishra, as you might already know. I joined in the September term in this course, in this BS degree program. I am the president of the society. It was my idea initially. The person who has joined from the account of Sanskrit Society is our web admin. His name is Guru Sharan. Uh,
Uh,
he will
Sorry,
introduce
Vignesh, I
himself.
lost connection.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Guru is introducing himself. Yes.
Oh, sure. Okay, sure. Guru,
Yes,
please go
Guru.
ahead.
Yes. Guru has a certain speech impairment. He speaks with a few stops, so please be patient with him. Yes, Santosh, you can continue.
Yeah. So, good evening, guys. With all due respect, I invite everyone, I extend my wholehearted welcome to everyone, to all the learners, to all the working professionals who are actually pursuing this course. I welcome you with great joy and immense exultation. I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to all presented here for the inauguration of Sanskrit Club of IITM BS course. So this is Santosh, and I'm the general secretary of this club, and I'll be hosting the meeting. Yeah, Vignesh, please go ahead. Thank you for.
Yes. So I'll take it from here. Uh, I am the president, as I already told. My formal title would be Adhyakshaha. The formal title of the web admin would be Jal Tantra Sanchalakaha, and Santosh would be our general secretary, that is Mahasachivaha. Is Shashi here in the meeting? Yes, yes. Please
Yeah, yeah.
unmute yourself. Yes, he's Sashi, our vice president. Also, his official title will be uh, Upadhyakshaha. Yes, Sashi. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, myself, uh, Sashi Kumar from Gaya Bihar. I am from Jan 22 term IIT BS course enrolled.
Okay. So, Guru Bhai, you can present the screen. Okay, no problem there.
In the meanwhile, Vignesh, why don't we, uh, introduce themselves to the to their Sanskrit names of the participants,
Yes, yes,
of the
yes.
audience.
The IST form, yes. We'll do it later because we'll do it in the like 1 minute. Yes, he has done it. Yes, so
Yeah.
Santosh would. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. We'll be using English for this meet because most of you are not either not acquainted with Hindi or not with Sanskrit, so we'll use this. Santosh, you can read it.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, as Vignesh said, we are opting for the English language since many are actually aware of this language, comfortable. So first of all, uh, to introduce things, like why do we need to, like explore the language of Sanskrit at a basic level? Like what's in this? Yeah. So for this sole purpose, actually, we are launching this Sanskrit Society Deva-Bhasha. So unleashing the power of Sanskrit. So going through the framework, first of all, to introduce this society um, to the audiences. The society is totally committed to studying and appreciating one of the ancient, like oldest languages of our country and also our world. Our main objective is to bring a lot of people closer to this language so that they'll explore and appreciate the greatness of this language and and its rich cultural heritage. As you can all I think everyone is going to the PPT too. So to introduce things, let us like get in touch with Sanskrit a bit. Like as you can all see on the screen, Sanskrit is an ancient language of India, like believed to have been spoken since time immemorial. Like we don't know like its origin. So many books, like many mythologies, etymologies, whatever it is, like many things are actually were scripted in the language of Sanskrit. So this is one of the things that drives us to uh, introduce this club for our students. So coming to the language structure, it is highly structured with a complex system of grammar like and vast vocabulary. Like besides this, we also have some ancient languages in the country like Tamil, Telugu, and Kannada, Malayalam, many languages. Like this is one of those highly structured languages with complex grammar, like not just with respect to Hindi or English. It is it forms basis for many scripts like Devanagari or something. We can also as we have something like Windows subsystem for Linux, we can also learn Sanskrit by this Aliya Hindi and Bengal, like with in relation with many other languages. So coming to learning Sanskrit, it will offer a as you can see range of learning opportunities for those interested in exploring the language. Like we have already discussed, like we have an idea why we need to explore the language, right? So what our mission is to offer classes and workshop in basic grammar, pronunciation, and literature of Sanskrit, with with a mix in Hindi and English, and also we are actually trying to expand our knowledge data like language database to Telugu and Tamil too, like or Kannada, Malayalam, depending on the audiences and club members. So on this auspicious evening, we invite you to join this and explore the language of Sanskrit and explore its um, structure and appreciate its value. So for this, we need to have proper set of resources. This society or club will provide access to a range of resources to help its members learn and practice the language. Like that is what it makes the motto. With a lot of practice, we'll have better understanding of the language and we can communicate in this language. So being a member, it will be a privilege to access the tools and resources that one needs to become an expert of the language, keeping in mind the objectives too. So coming to the activities, like why do we need some activities or something for us to develop a language? Because it is what makes it a language. I mean, like the basis of the language, right? So the present club will host a range of activities to promote the use of language, to understand the structure of the language, to understand its grammar, to communicate in this language in different ways. Besides this, we all will also organize events and activities to explore the culture and history associated with the language. Like we all know, right? Many people might know, Ramayana and Mahabharata and many other things were scripted in this language. So there is a difference if we actually go through these scripts in some other language, and also some if we go through this in this native language. There is the difference, and we want our participants or the club members to understand that difference, where you can actually appreciate the language and the concept of these books which were actually written in Sanskrit too. Goodbye. So just to wrap it up, we are it's really ecstatic to launch this society, Deva-Bhasha, in our course, and we would like to invite you everyone to be a part of it, learn Sanskrit, appreciate it. It will also be a bit experimenting, but we would also in the coming future we would also like to integrate this with some language processing techniques, like also extending the support to keyboards. uh, we all the thing that began in the previous century with ASCII 2 and everything. So with this I would like to invite everyone to the club and interact with fellow beings. Vignesh, please tell.
Yes. Thank you, Shantosh, for this presentation. Now, since our club is a part of BS degree program in data science and programming, so for data sciences, we are planning to integrate the knowledge that we get from the course to this um, club. So, firstly, we'll also explain how in upcoming sessions. But firstly, I'll present my screen, just a second, and show you some statistics. Yes, guys, is my screen visible?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, then just a second. Yes, so you can see the chart right here, right? You can see this. Yes, yes. So about the composition of the club. So out of those who have applied until, I think the last application here registered here is yes, until a while ago, your composition was majority of you were male, a few were females. It is 20/79, like 20 point something to 79. Okay, the ratio is here. Yes, now language section by those who selected the other option. Okay, before that we'll move into this. Yes, so among the option we gave you in the language section, majority of you chose English and Hindi. 59.5% chose this. The second highest option that you guys chose was, I think, English, Hindi, and other. Okay, so it is just an extension of the previous one in English, Hindi, and others. So it amounts to more than like it amounts to nearly 70% of those who have registered. Then we have our English and others 6.8%, English itself 8.4%, English Telugu 2.5%, Hindi 6.8%, 0.8% English Telugu and other, English, Hindi, and Telugu 4.2%. Okay. Language selection by those who selected the other option. So those who selected the other option in the language, the highest in those were Tamil speakers. Tamil speakers are 14, I guess. Yes, we can infer from this graph. Uh, Mathil speakers were, since my language is Mathil, I'm from Bihar, and I'm culturally Mathil, linguistically Mathil. So uh, there were two Mathil speakers. There were three Malayalam speakers. Bhojpuri speakers were similarly three. Gujarati speakers were two. Bengali four. Kannada speakers were seven. Marathi speakers again four. Uh, there was one guy who selected both Tamil and Kannada. There is someone who wants to learn Sanskrit in Sanskrit itself. Um, we would highly appreciate it if the person is so advanced, or maybe he would have selected it by mistake. We cannot say right now. There's someone who has selected nil. So if someone had paid attention to the statistics one class, it is actually you can say uh, when you check for the data validity, this nil section and the NA section would be removed. Then there is a Punjabi, someone who would like to learn in Punjabi, again one. So now our members, most of our members are have not been yet allotted a house. So I believe that most of you are from like, when I say most, I say it in relative to other houses. Okay, not the majority. So September, after the September session, 20 more than 20% have joined. Those who have registered in this since and after the September session. Okay. The second highest is from, I think, Gir Club. No, Namdapa Club. Okay. The second highest is from the Namdapa Club. The third highest is Gir Club. You can see the statistics are changing at live as people are filling the form. Okay. So these are the four main graphs. I'll share more such graphs later in the meeting. So for now, we'll have a, just a second. Um, where did the meeting go? Yes. Yes. So stop sharing. Yes. So for now, we'll be taking queries. Our guest is yet to join. He's a bit late due to lab work. We'll inform you as soon as he joins. Yes. Guru, is our other guest here? So, Yes, so Santosh, okay. So I would like now our guest Shreya Sambhavi, the head of Sahityika Club, to express her views.
Hi everyone.
Hi
This is
Shreya.
hi Vignesh, hi Guru, hi Shashi, hi Santosh. You guys are
Hi,
doing
Hi,
really
Shreya.
good.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah. So my name is Shreya Shambhavi. I am the president of Sahityaka, the Literary Society of IIM BS. I am right now in diploma. Okay, so so Guru texted me that you have to speak on a certain topic. You have to speak on importance of Indian linguistic tradition and literature with a special reference to Sanskrit. All right, so I'll be going with it. And before like starting it, I would really, appreciate these people here that they have started to teach Sanskrit in such a, good way. They are planning in such a nice way to get done with, getting to know and teach people Sanskrit by the end of this year. So I look forward to it. Okay, so, well, India is a land of diverse cultures and traditions, and one of the most important features of this diversity is its linguistic richness. The Indian subcontinent is home to hundreds of languages, each with its unique characteristics and beauty. Obviously, here, like every one of us, we belong to different parts of India. We are representing different cultures over here, different languages over here. So that is what India is, that is how India is beautiful. And the Indian linguistic tradition has a long and rich history, and it has contributed significantly to the world's literature and knowledge. So, one of the most prominent languages in Indian linguistic tradition is Sanskrit. So, Sanskrit is an ancient language, as you guys, got to know with from these guys about it, them everything, and it is considered the mother tongue of many modern languages. For example, Hindi, Bengali, Marathi, Tamil, and others. So, the importance of Sanskrit cannot be overstated as it is the foundation of Indian literature and knowledge. Sanskrit literature includes a wide range of subjects such as philosophy, religion, science, arts and culture, and it has influenced the world in so many ways, right? I mean, Indian linguistic tradition has produced like some of the greatest literary works in the world: the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Mahabharata, are some of the most important literary works in the Indian tradition. These works have been translated in so many different languages for people to learn, and these has influenced so many different scholars, philosophers, and thinkers around the world. So, I mean, I have studied Sanskrit till class 10th. I was good at that time. I don't know, like right now, how I am in it, but I look forward that I'll also, brush up and learn good again. Okay, so Sanskrit has a unique grammar system, which is, like considered a very scientific and precise one in the world. The grammar system of Sanskrit has influenced linguistics, and it has played a crucial role in development of linguistics as a science. And I believe, that is really important, like how Sanskrit has influenced science in a way, as we being the science students. So, apart from literature and language, Sanskrit has also contributed significantly to various fields like mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. Ancient Indian scholars like Aryabhat, etc., made significant contribution to these fields, and their works are still studied and revered today. It is, like essential to recognize and appreciate the importance of Indian linguistic tradition. And I hope, that uh, we are going to do that through the help of this society, and the enjoy the importance of Indian cultural heritage over here. By studying Sanskrit, we can gain a deeper understanding of Indian culture, philosophy, and literature. It can also help us in developing a better understanding of our past as well as our future. So, in conclusion, Indian linguistic tradition, like particularly Sanskrit, is of immense importance to the world's literature, knowledge, and culture. It has shaped the world in many ways, and it continues to do so. Therefore, it is our responsibility uh, to preserve and research, like promote this tradition and encourage the study and research of Sanskrit and other Indian languages. So let us appreciate and celebrate the richness of Indian linguistics and work towards preserving it for future generations. And with the help of this society, I guess, we would be doing the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreya, for the wonderful speech.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Shreya.
Yes. So now we're moving on to the next speaker, that is Aniket Ganesh. He is a third year BTech student. He's pursuing a BTech in engineering physics from IIT Madras. Uh, he heads the Sanskrit Samiti in campus. Yes, so Aniket, you can unmute yourself and present your uh, presentation. Enlighten us, share your views with us.
Namaste. Thank you, Vignesh, for having me here. So yes, I have just prepared a small talk on the Sanskritam as a language of scholarship. So let us just start with an invocation. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Me Sada. So yes, let us just move on and Vignesh, could you just make the slides full screen if possible?
Yes, 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 yes. Guru, is it possible? Yes.
Okay. Right. Saika Padaghna Padardham. Sa Eka Pada. Sa Eka Pada. Pada essentially refers to the number of steps. So when you can see this Ekadi Anka Yuti. So you start counting from 1. Ekadi Anka Yuti. Anka is digits. Yuti is joining the summation of digits as you start from 1 and go up to some pada. Take a number of padas. You take n number of steps and you just start 1 plus 2 plus 3 so on till n you start adding. What will that be? Saika Padaghna Padardham. 1 added with the pada, n plus 1. Ghna refers to multiplying. Padardham is n by 2. Saika Padaghna Padardham is Ekadi Anka Yutihi. That is summation of numbers 1 plus 2 plus 3 till n is equal to n into n plus 1 by 2 is what he is trying to say here. And that is Sankalita Akhya. That is called as Sankalita. Right? Okay. And what is the second half of the verse? This result, I mean, it is pretty common. Gauss is said to have reinvented this in Europe. And everyone knows this formula. 1 plus 2 plus 3 till n is n times n plus 1 by 2. The second one is sort of interesting. This same Sankalita that we have obtained, Sa Dviyutena Padena Vinighni. That Sankalita which you obtained, multiply with Dviyutena Pada. That is Pada added with 2, multiply it with n plus 2. Vinighni. Syat Trihrita. Trihrita is divided by 3. This is called Sankalitakyam. This is the Sankalita of the Sankalitas. Right. So what this is 1. that is the summation, the Sankalita up to one term, 1 plus 2, the Sankalita up to 2 terms, so on till 1 plus 2 plus 3 till n, Sankalita up to n terms. If you add all these Sankalitas, the Sankalitaikhyam is this Sankalita multiplied with n plus 2 and divided by 3. This is the formula that he is giving here. Right. So this is one interesting verse from Leelavati. We can move on. This is another verse from Leelavati, where Bhaskara discusses the notions of zero and infinity. That is, in fact, he talks about, let us just go through the verse. Asmin vikara hare narasavapi pravishte nisriteho bahushvapi syallaya srishtikale nante achyute bhuta ganesho yadvat. So, what he calls infinity here is an interesting term. It is he calls it khahara. Kha refers to the sky. So in India there is this system called Bhuta Sankhya. So again you see all of these mathematical works have been written in verses. Interestingly, if you take some maths textbook today, you will certainly not find any poetry etc. in it. But traditionally in India, whatever be the science, whatever be the subject you are dealing with, tradition is to write it in verses. Of course, commentaries may be written in prose, but the main text itself has to be. It is just convention that it is more often than not always written in verses. And you have different meters. I mean, the previous one was in Dodhaka. This one is in Indravajra, I think. Right. So this is the convention, and to fit numbers into verses, we have developed this ingenious method called Bhuta Sankhya, where different physical objects, different bhutas, stand for certain numbers. So, for example, if you want to say 1, I could say Chandra, because there's only one moon. If I want to say 4, I could say Veda, or I could say Sagara, because there are said to be 4 Sagaras. If I want to say 5, I would say Bana, that is arrow, because Manmatha is said to have 5 arrows which capture the 5 senses. Again, Aksha, which means sense organ, is another word that can be used for 5. This is how it goes. And sky conventionally stands for 0. So this Khahara is the word that he uses for infinity here, which is interesting in itself because Khahara literally means divided by 0. So he seems to have this idea that when you divide something by 0, the result tends to infinity. That is the idea here. So it doesn't, I mean, it's not explicitly mentioned, but then you can clearly see it here. Khahara stands for infinity. Its literal meaning is division by 0. What does he say about this khahara? There is no change in the value of khahara, is what he says. Asmin khahare rashau na vikaraha. When is there no change? Api pravishteshu, api nisriteshu. Even if you add something, even if you remove something, there is no change in this value of khahara. Bahusho bisyat. You can add or remove a great value also. Still there will be no change in this khahara. And he gives a simile from philosophy. Anante achyute bhuta ganeshu yadvat. Laya srishtikale anante achyute bhuta ganeshu yadvat. During the time of creation and destruction, just like there is no change in the Ananta Achyuta, that is the Brahman, even though the physical objects of the world go in or come out from him, just like there is no change in the Brahman during creation and destruction, so too there is no change in Khahara, even if you add or remove a large value from it. Yes, we can move on to the next slide. This is another, okay, right. So this is another verse by Madhavacharya from the Kerala school of mathematics, which has started becoming popular in some circles, but still not well known enough. He says, Vyase varidhi nihate rupahrite vyasasagara vihate trisharadi vishama sankhya bhaktam nanam svam prathakramat kuryat. Vyasa stands for diameter. Vyasa literally means division. That is why Krishna Dvaipayana is called Veda Vyasa. He said to have divided the Vedas in 4. Vyasa stands for division. The diameter is what divides the circle into 2. Vyasa means diameter. Varidhi nihate. Varidhi is ocean. So like I was talking about Bhuta Sankhya. Vyasa multiplied with Varidhi. Rupa hrite. Rupa again is Bhuta Sankhya for 1 and multiplied by 4 and divided by 1. Vyasa Sagara Vihate. Again Vyasa multiplied by 4 multiplied by Sagara. Then Trisharadi Vishama Sankhya Bhaktam. 3 is 3. Shara, like I was saying, means arrow. It is Bhuta Sankhya for 5. Vishama Sankhya is the technical term for odd number. You multiply this Vyasa by 4, divide by the odd number starting from 3 and 5. Then what are you supposed to do? Rinam Swam. Rinam, what is Rinam? Rinam is loss, subtraction. Swam is addition. Prithak Kramat Kuryat. You should do this alternatively, addition and subtraction. So you multiply this Vyasa by 4, divide by 1, 3, 5, etc. Add and subtract them in alternating fashion. This will give you the circumference. That is the content of this verse. You may recognize this if you rearrange these terms. Put 4d to the other side. You get pi by 4 equal to 1 minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 5. Some of you may recognize this as the famous Gregory-Leibniz series. Right? You get this from tan inverse x equal to x minus x cube by 3, etc. So yes, this is one of the Madhava, the Kerala school. Some scholars believe they anticipated some primitive form of calculus. There is good reason to believe that. In fact, infinite series, etc. have been clearly, I have just shown them to you how they have developed infinite series. The proofs for these are also available in Deva-Bhasha, written by some later descendants in the Kerala school. Okay, so this is one interesting verse. One. So this is not much to do with mathematics as such. In fact, this is not even from a mathematical text, this verse. It is from Vedanta Desika's Paduka Sahasra, Paduka Shataka. Right. So essentially it is a verse in praise of Mahavishnu's Padukas. These are two consecutive verses. So the first verse and second verse, you can notice that they sort of have the same letters in jumbled orders, right? And the motivation behind this, the meaning behind this is, have you heard of this problem, the knight problem in chess? The problem is essentially your chessboard has 64 squares. Your knight starts on one square, and it has to cover all the 64 squares by visiting each of them exactly once. This is the problem. This was solved by Euler sometime in his period. So Vedanta Deshika actually gives a solution to this problem in these two verses. So if you treat the second verse as a key and the first verse as the second verse as a key to the first verse, essentially what I mean by that is the first letter in both of them is Thi. Second verse, first letter is Ta. So you go to the position where Ta is there in the first verse, right, as I've shown in the right side diagram. From there, the second verse, third letter is Sa. So from the Sa, you should go to where Sa is there in the first diagram. And you continue like this. You will finally end up in the Ra in the first diagram, the first shloka. So if you follow this path, the knight will visit each square exactly once, and it ends up in Ra. So what happens if you end up in Ra? This has only covered 32 squares of the chessboard, right? The top 32 have been covered if you follow this fashion. If you end up in Ra, I can then go to the, if I make another move, I top left corner of the bottom 32 half, right? So it covers the entire chessboard in this way. This is just an interesting, commentators of the Paduka Shataka are not really interested in this manner. They are more interested in the religious significance of this, and they just note this as a footnote that it also solves this night problem, right? Yeah, that is all. So yes, this is another interesting verse by Damodara, who is the teacher of Neelakantha Somayaji, another extraordinary figure of the Kerala school that we were talking about, right? So he gives a verse: चन्द्रबाहुफलवर्गशोधितत्रिज्यकाकृतिपदेन संहरेत् तस्य कोटिफललिप्तिका हतां केन्द्रभुक्तिमिह यच्च लभ्यते तद्विशोध्यमृगादिके गतेः क्षिप्यतामिह तु कर्कटादिके तद्भवेत् स्फुटतरा गतिर्विधोरस्य तत्समयजारवेरपि. So he gives this essentially. I may not much detail because I don't want to take up too much time. Note here Kendra Bhukti. This Bhukti essentially refers to some sort of motion. So this instantaneous motion has been dealt with by scholars before the Kerala school as well. I think Bhaskara himself deals with instantaneous velocity. I mean specifically, velocity is well known. It is the speed at which something moves. This instantaneous velocity, that is the derivative. Though they may not call it derivative exactly in the sense that Leibniz, that we understand today thanks to Leibniz, the idea seems to be the same. We are interested in finding the instantaneous motion of this sort of the moon here. I may as well digress. Chandra is the moon. Bahu refers to the upright side of a triangle. It here refers to the sign. If you draw a circle, the upright side of the triangle will correspond to the sign of the arc. Bahu Phala is that which is calculated from the sign. It is essentially a scaled version of the sign. Varga is square. This Bahupala Varga Shodhita. This Bahupala Varga, that is R naught square sign, R sign. Bahupala is R sign. Bahupala Varga is R square sign square. From the Trijya. The Trijya, Jya refers to sign. Trijya refers to sign of 3 Rashis, that is sign of 90, which is unity. That is the radius itself. I mean, Indians do not deal with sign as a ratio of the side in the hypotenuse. We deal with it as the length of the side itself. So 1 corresponds to the radius. Trijyaka Kriti. Trijyaka is the radius. Its square. Kriti is again. So this is how you get this. This Trijyaka Kriti Padena Samharet. This some quantity must be divided by this square root of r square minus r square sin square. What is that which will be divided? Tasya koti phala liptika hatam kendra bhuktim. Koti phala. Koti is again cosine. Phala. Koti phala is again r cosine. Koti is r cosine. Some scaled version of r cosine. Liptika is a unit. It is like koti phala expressed in this unit of liptikas. Right, unit of arc, minute, arc, degree, something like that. Kendra Bhuktim. Kendra Bhukti is the motion. Bhukti means motion. Kendra Bhukti is some sort of motion of the moon. That is why you have this d by dt term here. D by dt of m minus alpha. That term refers to the Kendra Bhukti. What is obtained? If samapyate, Pathaveda is there. Whatever is obtained, this you have to subtract from if it is, you have to subtract it from the gati. So what is written here? Tadvishodhyam rigadike gate. If it is in rigadika, you have to subtract it. If it is in karkatadika, you have to add it, etc. So essentially this quantity will be equal to the gati. That is why you should add or subtract to make the correction. That's the content of this verse. So you can see they deal with the derivative of the sine inverse. And this value is accurate. If you just compute this, you can just try to compute this d by dt of sine inverse r naught by r sine m minus alpha. Turns out you will get exactly this value. Of course, d by dt of sine inverse is 1 minus root of 1 by x square. You just do these manipulations, you will get this. So yes, so you can definitely see how Kerala school kind of anticipated calculus. So yes, that is all I have prepared. So just one small comment. If we see here, the last 3-4 authors, Damodara, Madhava, Vedanta Deshika, all of them were from the south. Vedanta Deshika was from Tamil Nadu. The other three, Madhava, Damodara, etc., were from Kerala. Bhaskara, of course, was somewhere from Maharashtra. So Samskrita has been the scholarly language irrespective of which part of India you were in. See, even today in Tamil Nadu, the way to calculate Panchanga is the Aryabhatan method, and they still use the Sanskrit Vakyas that were given by Vararuchi. So this language has been across all the sciences. It is the go-to language for any science in any part of the country. That was its status, and yes, so that is all I want to say. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for the beautiful presentation. A lot of people messaged me. One particular and peculiar message was, uh, समझ में तो नहीं आ रहा है, but मजा आ रहा है. So even though if you did not get the whole of what he said, uh, there's no such problem. We'll be dealing with the basics. Uh, Aniket, so, some have asked that how did you achieve this level of proficiency in the language? So can you explain?
Uh,
And Santosh, can you mute yourself?
right. So I actually started learning Sanskrit properly only after my JEE. So I've been seriously learning it only for, I mean, even then it has not been very serious. I mean, it has not been consistent. Uh, so I've been sort of seriously learning it only for the past 3 years. Uh, of course, I had some background before also, right? So your question was how I achieved this sort of proficiency, right? I started off with one basic course. Once you have the basics covered, that is Rama Shabda, Lata Shabda, few other Shabdas, then a few common dhatus. This you should be able to get in any Samskrita Bharati course or your school level, NCRT level texts, or any other open source, whatever is available online. Just the tables are all available online. You just have to memorize a few of these. Once you do that, you should be able to understand simple texts like the Ramayana and Gita. Right. So once you memorize all of these, and I mean a few shabdas, few shabda rupas, few dhatu rupas, and learn this method called akanksha. That is it literally means desire. What is desired? I mean, in Sanskrit, one interesting aspect is because of the vibhakti structure, there is no fixed order for the words. So how you find which word is related with another word is by matching the vibhaktis. So if we take this verse itself, Asmin Vikar Haharena Rashau, Asmin Vikaraha Hahare. Asmin is in Saptami Vibhakti, Vikaraha is in Prathama, Khahare is in Saptami. So even though Vikaraha sort of sits between these two, it is not related directly with Asmin and Khahare. Asmin refers to Khahare. Asmin Khahare Rashau, na Vikaraha. I mean, you should just understand this logic. So memorize few Shabda Pathas, few. Those ending with vowels you would have learnt in school. Those ending with consonants, takaranta or nakaranta, one of them you learn. That will be sufficient. And of course, dhatu rupas would have learnt latlakara in school. Probably pick up lut and lut also. I mean lut and lung also. Other lakaras you will pick up with time. Then there is one resource called ashtadhyayi.com. My favorite resource. I suggest it to anybody who asks. There you find not only a list of the sutras, that is for advanced students. You find this page called Dhatu Patha there in ashtadhyayi.com, where you can find tables of different dhatus, different dhatu rupas. You also find Shabda Rupa tables there. Shabda Patha is also there. So if you want to memorize, you can memorize from this source. This is a reliable source. Some other websites in the internet may not be. So yes, this is a reliable source where you can run by Nilesh Bodas. This is one thing, and once you start getting into literature, just depends on how much time you're able to spend there. Your vocabulary will increase automatically.
Yes. So since we are having a lot of questions, so will you be able to take a few questions, Aniket?
Oh, sure.
Sure. So please raise your hands if anyone wants to ask a question to Aniket. Yes, Rishabh.
Yes, Rishabh.
Rishabh, you are not audible. Satyaki,
Okay,
you
maybe
can
someone else
continue.
can go next. Satyaki, maybe. Yes.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, sure.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Aniket, you mentioned that you're interested in the field of astronomy, right?
Yes.
So, are there any, is there any sort of research or study which was relevant back then and is still relevant in the realm of astronomy and Sanskrit? Like, is there anything which can be read or, uh, explored?
Sorry,
Any
I didn't get
research?
your question. Is there any? I missed the word there.
Any sort of research work that was being done
Right.
by the ancient Sanskrit scholars who were also into astronomy, and it is still being, done in modern astrophysics and astronomy. Is there any sort of work in this particular overlap of these two subjects?
So now what the traditional astronomers majorly concerned themselves with was the motivation for astronomy in India. It is essentially to answer three questions: Dig, Desha, Kala, Jnana. Direction, your position, Desha, and time. These are the three questions that the astronomers wanted to answer, and all their astronomical computations would be to answer these. Using the sun, find east and west. Sun exactly every day. Using the sun's find east and west. Using the stars, using the planets, figure out how time passes, how many yugas have passed, what year you are in, what the sthiti is. The Panchanga, for example, is entirely this computing meaning dividing time into manageable aspects like the month, year, day, etc. There are many types of days, synodic day, civil day, etc. Based on the positions of the sun and moon. So that is the problem that they majorly concern themselves with. Modern astrophysics, on the other hand, it goes into a lot more than this. I mean, the questions are different, right? It wants to understand how the stars originated, how, I mean, what out there, are there black holes, are there planets around other stars, etc. Right. So I don't think there's much of an overlap in that sense. But then, if your question is, can this sort of research that the ancients were doing, is it still are those problems still being worked on? Then that is, of course, certainly yes. You still need to determine time. We still use the Panchanga. So interestingly, how we compute the Panchanga today, some people blindly stick to Vakyas given in around 400, 500 AD. Some people, on the other hand, this is because no other Vakya. So I should probably explain what a Vakya is. Vakya system is something developed so that you don't have to learn the theory of astronomy and you can simply calculate. Anyone, even a mediocrely educated person, can calculate the Panchanga using the Vakyas without knowing astronomical theory. those same Vakyas are being used today because nobody bothers to read astronomical theory of Aryabhata or Brahmagupta. But those Vakyas are certainly outdated because they were composed for 1500 years ago, and tradition itself says that they have to be updated every 75 years or so. So what Drik Panchanga today does is they take the modern ephemeris and plug the values in directly. So how do you get the values in the modern ephemeris? That is still a question. I mean, NASA does it in certain way with observations, etc. If you want to do it in the Indian way, that still can be worked on. It still has not been worked on. I mean, that tradition sort of waned somewhere in the 19th century. If that answers your question.
Right. So, like, mainly, in order to, if we try to summarize what you're trying to say, like, most of the major ancient astronomy was done for charting out the constellations and all those things, right?
Not the constellations. In fact, they did not consider themselves, did not bother themselves with much more than the sun, moon, and planets. Just the sun, moon, and planets, which all sort of lie on one circle in the sky, just one line in the sky. Based on their positions, how much the sun has moved, how much the moon has moved, what is the distance between sun and moon. Based on this, how do I calculate today's tithi? What month is it today? How many cycles of the moon sync with how many cycles of the sun? Essentially, I want to make a calendar based on the objects that move. That is the motivation. Not really even bothered about charting out other stars, etc. The stars are just sitting there in the background to tell us where the sun and moon are present, because the stars don't move. Sun and moon move against the stars. So the stars are just there in the background, tell us where the sun and moon are. That is all. The aim is to calculate the Panchanga.
Right. Thank you, Aniket.
Sure. Yes, maybe you can take one or two more questions. I'd have to leave at 7:30.
Okay. The next speaker is Brahmasur. Is that your name? Or
Yes. Aham Brahmasmi. Namaste. I'm from Kerala. I am really proud to see your presentation, and I would like to ask about, are you aware of Kapatayadi Shastra Sankhya?
Yes.
Yeah, that is a wonderful technology they were using for encoding stuffs.
Yes.
I feel like even most of their work actually coded or encoded in such way that most of the people don't understand in the first after reading that. So I would like to know about Kapatayadi, Shastra Sankhya, and
Okay, so Katapadi essentially is a mapping between Devanagari letters and numbers. It is in the name itself. Ka, Ta, Pa, and Ya. Ka, Ta, Pa, Ya stand for the number 1. It starts from Ka, then Ka stands for 2, Ga stands for 3, Gha stands for 4. So on till what will you get? Nya will stand for 0. Then you start with Ta again as 1. That is how it goes. And so what this allows you to do is, and vowels are, of course, vowels do not matter here. You can just attach any consonant with any vowel. Only the consonant's value will matter. So what has been done is, you can use this to create meaningful sentences, which when decoded according to Katapayadi will stand for some number. This is what the Vakya system was. You will have a list of Vakyas like Gir, Nashreya.
Yeah, I would like to give one example. Palahare palu nallu pularnalo kalakkilam illa palennu gopalan anglamasam dine dine. Anglamasam kramal. So it's actually in Malayalam. It's a work from Kunyikuttan Tampuran. It's actually as per the Kadapayadi, it's just encoded the days in English calendar, Gregorian calendar. Every month names actually days actually encoded in that thing. So even So we are thinking about any other such kind of simply simple slogas actually encoded something
Yeah,
serious.
in fact, this Vakya Panchanga, Girna Shreya, literally means words are our fame. Dhenava Shrihi, cows are our wealth. Like this, there is a list of 248 sentences. All of them give the longitude of the moon on 248 days of the day. That is the theory here. And one more verse composed quite recently, I mean, last century by the Shankaracharya of Puri, Gopi, Bhagya, Madhuvrata, etc. It actually gives the value of pi.
Yeah,
Then we
okay, I
have
heard about that.
in sort of, I think Nagarjuna, some mathematicians have dealt with, have given some magic squares in Katapayadi. I have also composed a verse, I mean, in Katapayadi encoding a magic square. Lots of examples are there.
Yeah, I would like to build a OpenCV based data science project just to convert every Sanskrit verses to Kadabayadi or similar stuff. So we could
OpenCV is image
find something
recognition, right?
valuable. Yes, yes. Image recognition means it can understand strokes now.
I'm not really aware of this. Right? Yes, seems interesting.
Yeah, I feel like most of the stuff actually well hidden beneath something like this. Actually, I'm working in water treatment industry. So I came across one slogan. Ekena varnena rasena champachudam avastam vasudha Nanarasatvam Bahuvarnatamcha Yadam Pariksha Kshiti Tulyameva. So it was like I thought like most of the people don't know about water treatment and all during those time. But they clearly explained it in Sanskrit. But most of the people don't know these days Sanskrit. So nobody aware of this kind of stuff. So anyway, I really appreciate your work, and I would like to know more about this kind of ancient
Sure.
history. And
I will be in touch
thank
with your
you.
president. So yes, sure. Yes, sure.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so I would like to thank Aniket for being here. He will have to leave in a few minutes. So we would all like to thank. He is my inspiration for learning Sanskrit. I started a year ago, so and he has helped me a lot with both with resources and with my doubts. So uh, I'll let you know if you guys can connect with him. So now I think Santosh can continue with the uh, flow of motion. Yes, Santosh, are you here in the meet? Am I audible?
Hello, yeah, Vignesh, I'm
Yes,
audible.
yes, yes.
Thank you, Aniket, for your valuable time. So, moving on, like,
Yes, Santosh, we lost you. Okay, so I'll continue with the meet. So we have some important announcements to make. Uh, we have two vacancies for executive positions. Both are secretary level positions. We'll let you know the details and the forms when it will have to be filled through via the official channels, the group and the WhatsApp group and the Google group. Okay.
sorry, guys.
Yes. So the Santosh will
Um,
continue.
yeah. Aniket, that was a really impressive presentation from your side, like depicting the importance of Sanskrit and we do have a misconception, right, that Sanskrit language is the only language for chanting mantras in temples or religious ceremonies, which is actually less than 5% of the whole Sanskrit literature. I mean, more than 95% of which has nothing to do with the religion. Like I mean, like the label should be like the Sanskrit. It is a language of science, like that was very well presented by Aniket, and like we have to spread the scientific outlook to every nook and corner of our country. Like if we need to progress, like and the country and the progress of our country is mainly based on our student community and activities, right? As said by Aniket, by science, it is not just physics, chemistry, and biology, but the entire scientific outlook. We must develop the rational and questioning attitude in our people, and abolish superstitions and empty rituals. So, it was coming to the importance, or something. It was the language of philosophers, or scientists, or mathematicians, or poets, and playwrights, or grammarians, or jurists, etc. People living in India, they do have a lot of time to think, because agriculture was the main living job or something, right? So we people at that time have had a lot of time to think about this physical world and everything, and they actually presented their ideas in the language of Sanskrit, because of which, it is really important for us to um, learn and appreciate its importance and everything. Before dealing with these specific achievements of our ancestors in fields of mathematics, astronomy, medicine, engineering, etc., it is also necessary to mention that Sanskrit language made two great contributions to the development and progress of science in ancient India. Basically, it is a language created by, as said by Aniket, the great grammarian. I don't like Panini, which enable scientific ideas to be expressed with great precision, logic, and elegance. Science requires precision, right? So also science requires a written language in which the ideas can be written with great precision and logic. And these ideas, with very high degree of precision and logic, were scripted by this ancient by our ancestors in India in the language of Sanskrit. Uh, of course, the first language of people everywhere in this world is the spoken language, but further development of thinking cannot take place unless there is a written language, right, in which ideas can be expressed with precision. A scientist may think out new ideas in his mind, but these will remain rambling, diffused, and disorganized ideas unless they are set down in writing. So this is why Sanskrit is important. If many scripts were destroyed, but if there were present by this time, I think India would be in some different position. Also, besides logic, Sanskrit uh, was also a contributor for the philosophical sciences. It is also required for this progress of science, right, to give support and encouragement to science and scientific development. So to wrap it up, there are a large number of religions, castes, languages, ethnic groups, cultures in our country, which is due to the fact that India is a country of immigrants. And this is something that unites all of those ancient people with with the scripts written in Sanskrit, and that forms a basis of the raw ideas or the ancient ideas that were presented by our ancestors.
Yes. So we have some important announcements which Santosh will continue.
Yeah. Guys, please join the society, a club. Guru, bhai, can you please share the form in the chat box? Um, we also do have a couple of openings in our society. The recruitment forms will be sent out soon.
Yes. Other than the two openings of the executive positions, we have openings for technical teams, which will be non-executive in nature, and we have openings for those who would like to teach. Some of you are highly skilled, and some of you do not know anything. So we need to bridge this gap. For this, we'll be having sessions to make you Sanskrit literate. That will be our first priority. You might be someone messaged me that they got afraid or something after listening to the presentation. Don't be so. We'll not be dealing with that level right now. Okay. Currently, we'll begin with making you Sanskrit literate, and after making you Sanskrit literate, we'll be in constant touch with Aniket. We'll be in constant touch with the Sanskrit Society of IIT Madras, which Aniket heads, the IIT Madras offline degrees,
The
like
on-campus one.
on campus. Yes. So we'll send you the forms for the same. I'd like to share a few more graphs. Okay, so just a second. Okay, I'll be presenting it. Okay. Okay, so yes. So can you see this graph? This is the previous graph, but with the numbers written. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So the females are 21.5% and males are 78.5% until now. Okay. Now we'll move. Okay. So just a second. We'll just move. Just a second. Just a second. Yes. House name. This was something that I had already told you all. So now we'll move to this. Yes. So which language are you comfortable in? So 227 for English and 199 for Hindi. Like most of you know Hindi, 20% do not know. So we'll move in English. Okay. Telugu 24, others 44. Okay. So here it is. Other option, those who have chosen Tamil is the highest. Tamil will be in our priority because IIT Madras is situated in Tamil Nadu. So we'll work on integrating Tamil as well as a medium of instruction. Then Devanagari Lipi, Roman IAST, Grantham, Telugu script. These are scripts. I'll tell you the tools and resources, specific tools for learning all these scripts, learning Sanskrit, making it more interactive than the usual uh, grid format. What means this? We'll move it. Okay. Yes. So, do you have any knowledge of Sanskrit? So here we have beginners are 56.3%, and those who have no knowledge, absolutely no, they self-describe it so, is 23.1%. So do not be afraid. Majority of you do not know more than the beginner level. Okay. There are only 20.2% who know intermediate level Sanskrit, and there is exactly 1%. I cannot see the percentage, but there is 1% who knows advanced. Okay. So those who know more are in minority, those who know less are in majority. We'll bridge the gap in a very small amount of time. A lot of you will be uh, in the red pie, red part of the pie, and and a significant portion will also be in the now almost non-existent yellow pie, yellow part of the pie. Okay, so yes, see, you can see 185 people have no degree or diploma or certifications in Sanskrit, and a lot of other people also do not have who have entered NA but in different. So this is also a lesson in statistics. NA capital and N capital A small are the highest here. Okay, and a majority of you have learned it in the 10th grade, but most of you would have forgot, just like I did. Okay, so that will be it from my side. Now we'll be taking queries. Okay, any of you have any query from us, just ask it. Any suggestion, please ask it. Anything. Now the floor is open for discussion now.
To mention two types of queries. One regarding the club society activities, and the other one being queries regarding the language of Sanskrit.
Yes, yes, both these queries can be brought up now. Some will be answered, some will tell to will answer in written form to you personally.
Also, we'll be opening a form for submitting the queries too.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, Tejas. Username Tejas V.
It's Tejas.
Acha,
So
Tejas and the V
uh,
written there.
Tejasva.
Va.
It's a
Tejasva.
swa sound at the end.
Acha, okay, I got it. Tejasva.
Yes, yes, yes. So I had a small suggestion that if we would be presented with such mathematical facts like we were today, not too high level, not the differentiation and trigonometry part, that looked and sounded very interesting to me. uh, I didn't know that I wasn't actually expecting that when I came to this meeting, and it reignited my passion for Sanskrit, to be honest, because I learned Sanskrit only up till the 10th grade. After that, I didn't. But seeing those facts just amazed me.
Okay. Uh, you can speak in Hindi or even in Telugu. There are people interpreters in Telugu here. Uh, like Santosh knows Telugu and Guru knows Telugu. Yes. The- okay. So the next speaker is someone has raised the hand. Can you please see? I cannot see for right now.
Hi, I am Tripura
Yes. Yes.
Sundari from Chennai.
Oh, yes.
Uh, I joined this meeting only late at 7, maybe at 7:25 only I have joined. So I want to make sure whether is this society is the part of IITM itself. So this has been formed to give extra knowledge to the students, or this is formed by the student community. I wanted to make sure.
Yes. 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 So the society has been formed by the students, but it is
Okay.
official. Okay.
Okay.
It is officially recognized by the IIT Madras BS
Okay.
degree.
Okay. If there is any doubt, of course, we are going to stick to our course and our syllabus only. But still, if we want to excel in Sanskrit also, will we be getting any assistance from the professors over there in IIT Madras? If there is
Uh,
any Sanskrit
yes.
professor over there in IIT Madras.
We are collaborating with the Sanskrit Society of
Okay.
IIT Madras campus, that is the offline degree.
Okay.
They
Okay.
will be helping us, and they have a few mentors, a few professors. I will inform you whether or not they'll be interested in this. We are planning on this certainly. Yes. Further questions?
Yep.
Even if you do not have any questions, you want to say something, you want to tell, you want to suggest, you can just speak up. The floor is open for discussion. Like, you do not need to raise the hand right now.
Not just limited to the limited linguistics or grammar or something. You can talk about any, you can talk about anything with respect to Sanskrit.
Yes, Brahmasur, are you
Hi.
trying to say something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, how do you plan to give classes, or what is the plan for the same? How do you plan to encourage people to do it?
Okay, okay, okay.
Actually,
So we'll have our sessions for the beginners, first of all. That will be on a more regular basis. Okay. We'll ask about the preferable timing from our members. Um, okay. Yes. So as I was saying about this, further, for those who are advanced learners or those who are intermediate learners, we'll be introducing simple texts like Ramayana and Mahabharata in the initial stages, and then we'll move on to the more advanced texts. Okay. We'll also be sharing several resources, several videos. We plan to make a channel on YouTube, short videos, which will help you know Sanskrit. Even if you like see one video a day, you'll get it in a some amount of time. We'll be and another thing that I would like to mention for all of you, before Brahmasur can counter question, yes, we'll be communicating with you mainly through the announcement group. Okay, if you want, you can mute the other group. Okay, if you feel like there is a lot of discussion going on in the main group, you can just stick to the announcement group. Okay. Yes. Please, Brahmasur, your further doubt.
yeah, actually, I studied up to seventh standard. So after that, I couldn't continue it. But we have our own Gurukula here. But I am not able to follow them. So if you need any help, my brother actually a professor in Central Sanskrit University. We have few very good professors there. So actually, I'm interested in this kind of application level of Sanskrit. So I feel like this is a great opportunity, and I hope it will be something different from traditional approach.
Okay. Okay, we'll be in touch with you regarding the same. Okay, the points you mentioned. Okay. So Mayank Verma, we can uh, unmute yourself.
Can you read the message?
Okay.
Regarding the house allotment, Mayank, please be patient. IITM BS team does that. You need not do anything regarding this. If your batchmates got allotted a house, like please be patient. You'll be allotted too. If not, please write a mail to the support team.
Even I have not been allotted a
Not an
house.
issue at all.
Yes. So that is not a big deal right now. Okay. You can join the society without even joining a house. Okay. Most of our members have not been allotted a house yet. Further about your second. Yes. 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 So
Just
as I
join with
was.
a college mail. That's it.
Yes. About your second query, how to learn Sanskrit, the whole club has been established for that purpose, that very purpose, and we'll be telling you step by step how to first get literate in Sanskrit, how to read texts, how to read simple sentences, how to read a bit more complex sentences, sandhi, samas, and so on. Okay. Certifications while yes, during the course of the events of the clubs, you'll be provided with several certificates. Okay. um uh, and any other doubt? Okay, if no one. Hello brother, so you can get gist of the meet. Just okay, we'll send you the gist of the meet via the group. Okay, no problem there. If you could not join. Yes, so yes, another thing, you'll not get a certificate for this meet obviously, because this meet was just for launch and orientation. From the next meet onwards, we'll make sure that you get certificates. We'll tell you how and the manner and the.
It does depend on the registrations, like
Yes,
which will be actually sending through this mails.
yes, exactly.
Hi Vignesh, sorry, my network got cut. You were answering my query, but sorry, I could not listen to you completely. So, will this record? I mean, will this meeting will be shared with us? The recorded session possible?
Okay, yes. Guru, has the meet been recorded because there was some issue?
Okay, fine.
Okay, okay, okay.
Sure, sure. Okay, I'll listen to your answer in the recorded video possible,
Okay, it
because
is not a
Yeah,
large
suddenly
answer.
my network
The
cut
answer
out.
is that the answer is simply that we will collaborate with the campus club, and if the campus
Okay.
club can provide us access to the professors, well and good. If they cannot, well, we cannot do anything. Brahmasur mentioned that his brother is in Central
Okay.
Sanskrit University, so we'll ask IITM. Uh, we'll ask them permission for the same, and then we can
Okay.
invite him. Okay.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
Santosh, you can continue. I'll be muted for a few minutes. Okay.
yeah, sure.
Thank you, Vignesh.
Yep. Um, that's it, guys. Before concluding the entire meet, we'll be having the president's note. That is, this is complete dedicated to like working on the Sanskrit literature, grammar, and phonetics and everything. But besides that, it's not just limited to the literature or something. It is open to connecting ideas and depicting various things that can actually be used for the advancement of something, whatever it. I was muted. Sorry. Also, I would like to focus on one more thing. Like I would like to stress on one big thing, like about the misconception about the Sanskrit language, that it is only a language for chanting mantras in temples or religious ceremonies. No, it is not like that. That is less than 5% of the whole Sanskrit literature. More than 95% of the literature has nothing to do with religion, and instead it deals with philosophy, law, science, literature, grammar, phonetics, interpretation, ideologies, philosophy, etc. Like, in fact, it was the language of free thinkers who questioned everything and expressed the widest spectrum of thoughts on various subjects. In particular, Sanskrit was the language of our scientists in ancient India. Maybe today, like we might be behind the Western countries in science, but there was a time when India was leading the whole world in science. Knowledge of the great scientific achievements of our ancestors and our scientific heritage will give us the encouragement and moral strength to once again take India to the forefront of science in the modern world. So this is one of the main motto of the club, just to bring people closer to Sanskrit, and teach them the ideas, especially apart from the literature, phonetics, linguistics, etc. And make people aware of this. Vignesh, please take over, like the president's address.
Yes. Before the president's address, I'd like to answer the query asked. Will there be assessments? So assessments will be optional. Okay. We will provide you with assessments, but it will be optional. Okay. So now I begin. Dear friends and fellow language enthusiasts, I am delighted to welcome you all to the launch of the Sanskrit Society at our esteemed institution. This is a momentous occasion, not just for our society, but for the entire institution and the community at large. Sanskrit is an ancient language that has played a pivotal role in shaping India's rich cultural heritage. It is the language of our scriptures, our epics, and our literary masterpieces. And as mentioned by Aniket, the language of science. Today, Sanskrit is still alive and well, as you could have seen in the uh, presentation, with a vibrant community of scholars, teachers, and enthusiasts who continue to explore and expand its possibilities, something that we will be also doing. The launch of our society marks a new chapter in the history of Sanskrit at our institution. It is an opportunity for us to come together to share our knowledge and passion for this beautiful language and to explore its many dimensions. Over the coming months, our society will be organizing a variety of events, workshops, and seminars which will offer you opportunities to learn, engage, and connect with other like minded individuals who share your love for Sanskrit. Whether you are a seasoned scholar or a curious beginner, I invite you to join this journey of discovery and exploration. Together, let us create the richness and diversity of this language. Let us celebrate it. Let us work to promote and preserve it for future generations. Thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you at our upcoming events. Let us work together to make the Sanskrit Society at our institution a shining beacon of learning and excellence. Thank you. That would be it. That would be it. Yes, Santosh, you can take over. Okay, so